For Nintendo 3DS owners, November feels like a long ways away right now. Pokemon Sun and Moon won't be hitting shelves until November 18th, forcing handheld gamers to go outside and enjoy the beach or something. But fear not, dear pasty players. There's already a bounty of new 3DS games that should hold you over until you can force animals to fight one another for the, 200th time? So here are 5 great new 3DS titles you can pick up right now and play on the beach while you burn to a crisp. If you never played last year's hit Box Boy, then you missed out on one of 2015's most inventive puzzle platformers. Fortunately, you now have a second chance to enjoy the magic of squares with Box Boy's newly released sequel, Box Boy. In Box Boy, you controlled a Box Boy who can create other boxes that helped you solve platforming puzzles. But in Box Boy, the Box Boy is now able to create 2 sets of boxes, leading to boxier box-based puzzles. It's a nice twist on an already great simple concept that HAL Laboratories presented in the first game. Plus, it's only $5 on the eShop, which is really the icing on the box. If you're looking for something a little rounder, Kirby Planet Robobot might be the more spherical game you're looking for. Okay, we all know how Kirby games work at this point, right? You devour other creatures and steal their powers like a murderous shape-shifting carnivore. But for Planet Robobot, Nintendo apparently asked, how do we make Kirby more of a danger to the world around him? And the answer to that question? Put him in a freaking mech! Yes, that's right. In his latest game, Kirby gets to control a giant pink robot that can bring destruction to the world around him, crushing his foes and asserting his dominance over a presumably terrified society. Of course, you can still eat your enemies if you so desire, giving Kirby all new abilities that let him turn into an unlicensed doctor or literally a fountain of poison. We just love some good old-fashioned family fun here. If that sounds too harrowing for you, may we suggest the latest installment of the Zero Escape saga, Zero Time Dilemma. The series revolves around 9 characters who are kidnapped and forced to find a way out of their prison or die via escape the room puzzles. It's basically what we imagine what it's like to be inside of Kirby's stomach. The series is something of a digital novel, telling a complex story that changes based on your choices. So you may want to consider picking up the previous 2 installments in the series before diving into Zero Time Dilemma. It's a claustrophobic M-rated adventure game that's sure to trigger your anxiety. And for those of you who don't have a 3DS and are only watching this out of boredom, it's also available on the PlayStation Vita and PC, so go do that instead. Maybe panic attacks aren't your thing though. In that case, Pocket Card Jockey might be up your alley. Well, actually, we say that loosely because in theory, it's not up anyone's alley. Game Freak's latest is a horse racing game where you play rounds of solitaire to lead your horse to victory. See what I mean? But don't let that weird distraction fool you. Pocket Card Jockey is a ridiculously addictive handheld game with a surprising amount of depth. It all seems complicated at first, but within a few races, you'll learn to master the bizarre mechanics. At this point, we're convinced that this is how horse racing actually works. Oh, and the horses in the game have glorious names such as Fireboy and Macaroon Prince, so that alone is worth the $7.99 price tag. Finally, we have the granddaddy of weird 3DS games, Rhythm Heaven Megamix. You may have missed this weird little rhythm game because it surprise dropped on the eShop in the middle of E3. For the uninitiated, Rhythm Heaven is basically the WarioWare of rhythm games, throwing bizarre microgame after bizarre microgame at the player. It's a bit difficult to explain without sounding crazy, but we think this footage really speaks for itself. This latest installment of the very niche series takes 70 stages from previous installments and adds in 30 new ones, making it a perfect starting point for new fans and a handy compilation for old ones. It also features 4-player multiplayer that only requires 1 player to own the game, so you can wage mental warfare on your friends by forcing them to play it with you. It's the perfect way to lose your social life so you'll have more time for Pokemon.